Hello children, I hope you all are doing well. In this video, we will start with the first chapter in maths, that is basic geometrical concept. Now, before starting with the chapter, do you know what is geometry? Now here, we are not talking about the geometry box that you use, but here we are talking about the field of geometry. So children, the field of geometry was developed a long time ago when the ancient mathematics were trying to measure the earth. You must have come across dots and lines for many times. We even observe many patterns in our daily life in form of rangoli pattern, computer, board games that we play, zebra crossing painted on road, etc. These dots and lines form the basic geometry, and in this chapter we will learn a few concepts in basic geometry. So children, in geometry we will study about the size, shape, position and dimension of various objects. We have already studied about square, circles and triangle. Those are all the simple geometrical shapes. Now, observe the figure in the picture, children. What do we see here? We see an incomplete rangoli pattern. Let's discuss the questions. First question, what kind of surface do you need for making a rangoli? So, for making a rangoli, we always need a flat surface. Second question, how do you start making a rangoli? So, we always start making a rangoli by making equal spaced dots on the surface. Third question, what did you do in order to complete the rangoli? So, what can we do? We can join the dots by straight lines to make a design. Name the different figures you see in the rangoli. What figures do you see, children? So, we can see different shapes such as square, rectangles and triangles. Fifth question, would it be possible to make a rangoli on a scooter or an elephant's back? Is it possible? No, it is not possible to make a rangoli on a scooter or an elephant's back. Sixth question, when making a rangoli on paper, what do you use to make the dots? What can we use to draw rangoli on paper? So we can make the use of scale and pencil to make equal spaced dots on the paper. Let's learn about the few concepts of geometry. The first one is point. Now, what do we understand by point is? A point is an exact position or a particular location on a plane surface. When you have to show the exact point or the exact position of a particular thing, that time we use a point. The point can be represented by a dot. So whenever you are representing a point, you need to put a dot there. Also, the name of the point cannot be written in small letters. You always have to use capital letters in writing the name of the point. In the particular figure, M, N and Q are the points. Second is line. Now here in this picture you can see that we have made a line. The line is something which you can extend it. Now here we have made two arrowheads. So whenever you make a line, we make two arrowheads on the sides. That means you can extend it to wherever you want, and this line has no limit. So that means a straight line which can be extended on both of its ends without any limit is called as a line. Also, we make two arrowheads on both of the ends so that it can be extended. A line can be named by using either small letters, like here we have used L, or you can also use capital letter, like here we have used R and S. Next is line segment. Now look at this picture. What do you find the difference between the line and the line segment? Well, in the line, we use two arrowheads at both the ends. But here we are using two dots on both the ends of the line, and that is why it is called as line segment. Now this indicates that the 2 points are fixed. You cannot extend the line. So a line segment is a part of line whose ends are fixed. Also, when you are naming these line segment, you need to use capital letters. How you will name these line segments as? You can name it as segment AP. Now you have to remember, children, while you are naming line, we use line L or line RS and all. But when you are naming the line segment, you need to use segment word. So here we will write segment AP or segment PA, and for this line it will be segment RS or segment SR. Next is ray. Observe this figure. What you can see here, one end is written as R, there you can find one dot is there, and on the other end one arrow is there. That means one end is fixed and the other end is not. So in a ray, one end is always fixed, that is called as the origin, and the next end is free. You can extend it till wherever you want to. Also, while naming this, we will say it as it is ray RS. One important thing you have to remember while naming the ray, that you always have to start the ray from the origin point. So you cannot name it as SR. You always have to name it as RS. You will always start from the origin point. Next is concurrent lines. Now here in this figure you can see that from a single point, that is P, so many lines are passing. That means when two or more lines pass through the same point, they are known as concurrent lines. And if I have to say it in simple terms, so a set of lines are said to be concurrent if they all intersect at the same point. So here all the lines are intersecting at the point P. Next is collinear and non-collinear points. Look at the picture. What you can find here, all the ants are walking in a straight line. So a collinear point is three or more points which lie on a single line. Those points are called as collinear points. What will be non-collinear points? The points which do not lie on the same line. So those are called as non-collinear points. If you'll see the second picture, from it can you identify the collinear and non-collinear points? Well, the collinear points will be the points which are on the same line. So that means point A, C, E, F, D and B are collinear, while point P, Q, R, S, T are non-collinear points. Next is plane. Now, any flat surface can be called as plane. In mathematics, the surface which is flat, उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं plane. Also, a plane is never fixed. You can extend the plane in all the directions. Next is parallel lines. Now, parallel lines are the lines which lie on the same plane but do not intersect each other. Those are called as parallel lines. So these lines, they are always on the same plane but they will never meet. So these lines are called as parallel lines. In the figure you can see on the railway track, two lines, they are lying on the same plane but they are not meeting each other. So such lines are called parallel lines. And if the lines intersect each other, those lines will be called as intersecting lines. Now children, can you identify which are the parallel line and which are the intersecting lines? Well, look at the first picture. The two lines, they are crossing each other. So they are called as intersecting line as they meet at a particular point. The next line, they are lying on the same plane but they are not meeting each other. So those lines are called as parallel lines. Now, in the third picture, if you will see, these lines, they are not meeting right now. But if you will extend them further, as these lines have arrows, so they can be extended. So as you will extend them further, they will meet at a certain point. They will be meeting at a particular point. So that is why these are called as intersecting line and not the parallel lines. So children, we studied about point, we studied about line, we studied about line segment. Do you remember about line and line segment? Well, line can be extended from both the ends, but line segment cannot be extended. While drawing a line, we draw two arrows at both the ends. And while drawing line segment, we draw two dots at both the ends. Next, ray. What is a ray? So a ray is fixed at one point and can be extended from the other. So at one point you have a dot which is fixed and the other end is free where you have an arrow. Next we have concurrent lines, that is many lines, 3 or 4 lines passing from a single point. Then we had collinear and non-collinear points which lie on the same line and which do not lie on the same line. We also studied about parallel and intersecting lines and we also studied about plane. So children, these were the few basic concepts in geometry. I hope you all understood children. In the next video, we will start with practice set 1. Thank you for listening children. Until then, take care of yourself and stay safe. Bye bye.